Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're diving into a coin that's been flying a bit under the radar, but just made a move worth watching. XCN, also known as Onyxcoin, is up 5% today and is currently trading around 1,875 cents. While this price jump might seem small in the grand scheme of things, especially when the overall market feels dull and directionless, it's enough to spark curiosity. So, we decided to do something a little different. We asked ChatGPT to analyze and predict where XCN might be headed, especially if the bull market really is over. Let's break it down. Is the bull run over? The debate continues. Over the past few weeks, the big question on everyone's mind has been, is the bull run over? A growing number of crypto analysts, macroeconomic experts, and even veteran investors are starting to believe that the traditional 4-year crypto cycle might be breaking down. This belief stems from several unusual signals. The Bitcoin halving came and went with much less impact than expected. Altcoins are struggling to gain momentum despite strong fundamentals. Macro pressure from interest rates, global instability, and risk-off sentiment is hitting crypto just as hard as traditional markets. If this is a structural shift in how crypto cycles play out, then we have to rethink what recovery and growth might look like, especially for mid-cap and small-cap coins like XCN. A wild start to 2025 for XCN. To understand where XCN could go next, we first need to look at how it's behaved so far in 2025. Back in January, XCN exploded. The coin surged 18x from its earlier lows, hitting a high of 36 cents. For a lot of investors, this was the moment they thought the bull market was in full swing. It looked like XCN was going to be one of those breakout altcoins of the year. But things didn't hold. From that peak, XCN tumbled all the way down to just $0.084, wiping out most of those gains in a matter of weeks. That's more than a 75% drop. Now fast forward to today. XCN is trading at roughly half of its January high. It's recovered slightly, showing signs of resilience, but it's still far from its peak. And here's what's interesting. This extreme volatility is both a warning sign and a window of opportunity. If you know how to navigate the cycles, coins like XCN can be wildly profitable, but they can also catch investors off guard. Let's talk Bitcoin, why it still matters for XCN. Let's not forget, Bitcoin still leads the market. Always has, probably always will. Currently, Bitcoin is sitting at around $84,000, well below its January high of $109,000. While it's not a complete disaster, Bitcoin is still up massively from 2023 levels. The retracement shows that enthusiasm has cooled off significantly. And when Bitcoin isn't surging, smaller altcoins like XCN tend to struggle. They're more sensitive to market sentiment, and they don't have the same liquidity or institutional support that BTC and ETH enjoy. So when Bitcoin dips or stalls out, XCN and other smaller caps tend to bleed harder. That's just how the game works. XCN price forecast. What if the bear market is here to stay? All right, let's assume the worst case scenario. The bull market is over, and we're entering a long, grinding bear market. What does that mean for XCN? In this environment, we might see XCN struggle to break through major resistance levels, especially the 2-cent zone, which is already proving tough to crack. If the market sentiment stays negative, that ceiling could turn into a concrete wall. Even more worrying, the previous support level at 0.084 might not hold. If that level breaks down again, we could see the coin drop into a danger zone, potentially as low as 0.03 to 0.05 by the end of the year. And it's not just XCN. A broad bear market tends to drag down almost every altcoin unless there's a very strong specific catalyst, like a partnership, product launch, or exchange listing. So for anyone holding XCN long-term, this is a critical moment to watch. Can XCN still grow? There's hope for the bulls. Now let's flip the script. What if things don't get worse? What if we're just in a temporary lull and Bitcoin starts picking up steam again in the coming months? There's actually a strong case to be made that XCN could shine again, even without a full-blown bull market. Why? Because it has already shown that it can recover from deep lows. That kind of price behavior creates a base of believers, investors who continue to buy dips and support the price. If Bitcoin reclaims the 100K plus level and confidence starts to return to the broader crypto market, XCN could easily retest its January high of 0.36. That would be a 90% gain from today's price. In a truly bullish scenario, let's say BTC hits $150K by the end of the year, XCN could rally to 5 or even $6. That would put it close to a 3x from current levels, which is massive compared to what you'd get from blue chip assets. Key price levels to watch. If you're actively trading or investing in XCN, here are the zones to watch. 0.084, major support. If this fails, we could head much lower. 2 major resistance. Breaking above it would be a strong bullish signal. 3.6 January high. If we reach this level again, it could trigger a wave of FOMO. 5.6 bullish breakout targets in a favorable market. These levels don't just represent price points, they represent psychological milestones. When enough traders and investors focus on these zones, they can create self-fulfilling moves in the market. So, what's the bottom line? XCN is in a holding pattern. It's not pumping, but it's not collapsing either. It's waiting for a sign from Bitcoin, waiting for market sentiment to shift, waiting for a catalyst that can reignite attention and volume. So whether you're bullish or bearish on XCN in 2025, the most important thing is to stay informed and watch the broader market carefully. Don't bet the farm, but don't write it off either. Coins like XCN can surprise you, sometimes when you least expect it. Whether you're a long-term believer in XCN or just keeping an eye on what's moving in crypto, this kind of market update is exactly what we bring you every day. And if you've been following Trump Coin or other microcap altcoins, you know just how fast things can shift. That recent unlocking event was another reminder that in crypto, timing and sentiment are everything. Help us hit our goal of 1,000 subscribers this month. We're getting close. So if you haven't already, like this video, subscribe to the channel, comments for more. Ring the bell so you never miss an update now. We'll be watching XCN closely and giving you real-time updates as things unfold. Thanks for being part of the community. And as always, stay curious, stay sharp, and stay in crypto.